Welcome to Chat with Loki Season 2. Let's continue these stories of grit, resilience, faith and wisdom from the unseen, unheard, everyday heroes of life. These stories are for you. Thank you for being part of Season 1. Your support has been incredible. We have now crossed 50,000 subscribers, and I'm grateful for each one of you. I hope you enjoy this journey.
It's like, mate, if you and yes, there's a lot of hacks, right? Because what is the barrier to entry to be a public speaking coach? There isn't one. My background, 22 years in banking and finance. I was in an executive team, 2012 is where this happened, an executive leadership program. And I've delivered at that stage 400 and whatever events as an MC. I'm up to 624 now, right? So my life is now on stage, listening to the world's greatest speakers and speaking. Am I the best speaking coach on earth? No. Do I have a great set of skills and a career that affords me the experience to help you communicate better on stage? Probably yes. If those trolls had taken the time to hit my website and look at my videos and see my research, then they would know that I know what I'm talking about. Some people don't have the foresight to take a step back and go, this guy's trolling me. He doesn't know what he's talking about. They've put himself out there and they've been cruel. Or they didn't even choose to put themselves out there. Their friends put them out there. They've been destroyed. They don't know where to turn. And it ends badly. Back to you.
I relate to that.
So bad.
I get some stupid comments on YouTube. And
man.
I don't take it.
I'm going to get trolled by a tennis parent based on this one. TA, someone from Tennis Australia is going to hammer me, sure.
I had another guest last year, and she was talking about motherhood, the beauty of homemade cooking and all those things. And that video went over 150K views or 200K views. Yeah. And 50% of comments were negative from females. And I was, okay, what's going on here? And then I'm like, okay, is there some guilt trip?
Yeah.
Is it like a guilt trip? Oh, why did you do that? Kind of thing. But the message was just simply beautiful, saying she's from a South American background and cooking home is a normal thing. And so anyway, it's just sometimes these trolls are useless. But when someone trolls me personally, I'll give it back to them.
I did as well.
I just call them stupid, idiot, and sometimes I just say, look yourself in the mirror, or, get up in the morning and go for a run before you next time comment something. So I always say something back, and that's the end of the story for me. But, that's really a good point of trolling. But your MC, one of the things I really like is you share things seem so small and minor, but they're the most crucial things. You talk about the
talking tips and stuff.
Tips. I love those tips because
it's the reality, man.
It's you can read all these best books and all those things, but the pause you talk about.
Here's the truth.
Yeah, the pauses you talk about and the body language you talk about. And then some of the times you also mention read the audience. And the other day I read something, don't have too many screens, just get it down to...
Less is always more, right?
Less is always more. Yeah, I saw that the other day.
Always more. It's mind-blowing. Let's talk about the trolls for a bit because I want to round that out. We spoke about suicide, then we'll pivot to MC.
Yeah.
One of the other reasons our kids don't have phones, one of the other reasons I've deleted Instagram, don't use Facebook. If you like Facebook and Instagram, read Stolen Focus and read 𝗪𝗵, right? Like by Cambridge, about Cambridge Analytica. I won't spoil it for you, but let's just say Brexit and the way Trump won the election was kind of powered by Facebook, right? Yep. So read 𝗪𝗵, that's that one, and then read Stolen Focus about the perils of social media. The other thing is, a lot of those trolls probably aren't even real people. They're probably bots in a bot farm. In fact, when Elon took over Twitter,
X, yeah.
I think it was, and made it X, I don't know the percentage, don't quote me, but a significant proportion of the accounts on X are not real people, because there's governments
Yes.
and there's institutions at play whose one job it is to divide the community and try and create conflict. And by doing that, a divided community is easy to influence and easy to control. And so that's why, back to the kid thing, I don't want them exposed to that world. I'm 45, I struggle with it, but I feel like I'm at the stage in my journey where my mind isn't as limited, back to your point before about limited mind, my mind is open enough to see the truth behind the real, to see what I'm being fed up and fed up. As
you're more aware.
I'm more aware, right?
Yeah.
And so I think kids, if you're struggling and you're a young man listening to this, my God, talk to someone. lukehannan.com.au. Pick up the phone, call me. I don't care. Ping you a message, Lokesh on Insta or on LinkedIn. Reach out to someone and have a chat about it. Because what you'll find is that you are not the only person and that the world is struggling. Don't watch the news.
Yeah.
Delete all of your social media accounts. When I started my MC journey and how I pivoted, I started on Twitter. It was Twitter back then, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. The only business I got worthwhile, because I'm a corporate MC, I'm not doing weddings, is from LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And so that's the only social media I'm on now. Social media is evil. It is good to help you connect with people. Let's think about the real purpose of Facebook, right? Connecting with old friends. What an amazing purpose. LinkedIn, for me, we stay connected, even though we haven't seen each other for 3 or 4 years, through LinkedIn, because I'm very active on LinkedIn. I'm looking. I'm not just liking, I'm commenting.
Yeah.
I'm following people's journeys and they're following mine. Use social media for a very specific purpose and keep in the back of your mind that their job is to keep you watching. Now, what do humans pay attention to? We are programmed to look at bad things.
Yeah.
Because avoiding bad things as a Homo sapien keeps you alive. Social media is aware of this, so they feed you up bad things to keep you watching.
Yeah, yeah.
So just be aware of that. Maybe we can capstone that topic. And
the TikTok and Meta, recently there was a whistleblower's report came up. And when TikTok became so famous, I think Insta started Reels.
That's right.
And when Insta started Reels, they've been given instructions to bypass the content which is more engaging, more controversial, and extreme. So that's how they made the engagement they were looking for. And it's apparently actually in the terms and conditions saying we have the control of what information we can put in front of you. So it's a no secret, but young men, who are struggling with social media or who are generally struggling with life, always find someone to talk to, because we're all pretty much we're all in the same boat. It's just we need to open up. That's the key message here. Social media is a lot of times just the surface. It's not the depth. It's not the real experience.
I agree. Kim Kardashian said this once, right? And love her or loathe her, that woman has made billions of dollars.
Absolutely.
From what a champion. And again, it's easy to look at someone like that and go, well, she didn't study. Yeah, but hang on. She found an opportunity, had the courage, foresight, and intelligence to grow and make a ton of money out of nothing. Like, what a legend, right? But she said once, I take like 500 selfies for one post. So what you're seeing on social media is the best. You don't see people going, Blink-182 did this once and I loved it. Like, I woke up, smell like crap, and, I'm feeling terrible. Perfect. Tell it how it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Tell it how it is. Just be aware on social, mate, it is all fake. The other thing is, what is the point of a big following now? I would rather have, I've got 7,000 connections on LinkedIn. I've done 624 events. Most of those people I'm connected with, whether from my banking and finance career or people I met at events. Yeah. That's how we connected. Hey, Loki, great to share the stage with you.
That's organic.
It's organic, right? Yeah. You would rather have 500 friends on Facebook or 500 followers on Instagram that are close within your network that means something. So when you post something, it means something to them and they want to see your content than 600,000. I know someone that's got 600,000 followers and I said, yeah, that's great, but how much money do you make from that? And how did you make it? Like, you just copied other people to get that, right? The other thing you'll see on Instagram now, and again, I've deleted it, but pay attention to the content. Someone does a video that gets a heap of likes, everyone else just copies it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, there was some kid that jumped and said, or, you know, someone posted, I'm a Formula One fan. If I get a Formula One person to comment on this, a driver, my wife's going to take me to the 𝗥𝗲𝗵. And then, you know, 𝗨𝗵𝘁𝗵 or one of the drivers comments. And then you just see it over and over and over again. There's no original thinking. Everyone's just copying each other and it's a fake world. So my best advice, delete it. Go to the pub with your mates. And Jimmy Carr said this, because if you step out of line, your mates are going to go, mate, don't be a fool. They're going to take the mickey out of you and they're going to check you.
Yeah.
You don't have that on social media because it's all fake, right? So let's talk about 2012 if you're comfortable.
Please.
What a year for my life. Wow.
Yeah.
So 2012, for the astute listener of the podcast, you will remember that was when our first child was born. So Scarlett's born in January 2012. My mum's got terminal ovarian cancer by this stage, right? Mum dies in June, 26th of June 2012, mum died, Maureen. And at the time, I'm on an executive leadership program at City called their Management Associate Program, right? So funny story, I've been fired from every job I had before I got a job at City. A CBA, fired. Capital Finance, fired. ADHD, very driven. Not the easiest person to deal with, right? I love to live my life in the hands of my amygdala. And what that means, if it's in here, if I have an instinct, I'm just going to act on it, right? Now, I'm very fortunate as a professional who's spent 2 decades in banking, I've developed a really good filter. Yeah. So on stage, I never swear. Ever, ever, ever. I have once, that's probably a story for another time. And the event was, it was an event with a lot of gym people and a guy called 𝗵𝘀𝗻 𝗪𝗏, who's an entrepreneur. And it was the scene, right? It was just the right thing to do. And it worked really well and the context was fine. However, I've been able to develop this filter throughout life. So I get fired from every job I had. The job I left before I went to Citibank, I didn't get fired from. It was called Sensormatic. Sensormatic, you know when you walk out of a store and they don't take the sensor off the shirt? That's Sensormatic. They put those things in, right?
Okay.
And so I said to my boss, you know, everyone, this is the first job I've been fired. Haven't been fired from. My boss is like, mate, you don't know how close you were. Right? So anyway, I get a job at Citi. I'm at Citibank in 2005. I start there, right? 21st of January 2005. I'm weird with dates and numbers. Like as a numbers guy, you can put a spreadsheet up and it just talks to me. Like,
is that the ADHD thing?
I don't know. Maths school. 3-unit maths, 2-unit physics, like loved it. The irony is I was terrible at English and now I talk for a living, right?
Could you just summarize what is ADHD for people who don't know what it is?
Okay. So the technical term is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Okay.
So what it does to me, and this is my lived experience, is I will have something I want to focus on, a social group. I mean, you mentioned John Arkaka before, right? Poker. When I met 𝗵𝗲𝗁, all of those friends who I would spend 30 hours a week with playing poker, literally, like we'd play till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning every day. Like we got good. We were good. Poker's the only game you can play in the casino and win. And I know everyone's thinking, that's not true. You can't win at the casino. Hear me out. Poker's the only game you play in a casino where you don't play against the house. That's why you can win. Because when you play poker at a casino, you play other people. You play other people.
Oh, wow.
So let's talk about this
that's a different perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do statistics for a minute. Blackjack. Your probability of winning in blackjack on average is 48.5%.
Yeah.
So that's great. You win almost half the time.
Yeah.
Almost, but not quite. Now, I don't know what the exact number is, and I'm sure someone listening knows, okay? But that means the house wins 51.5 times out of 100, which means if you bet $1 billion in blackjack bets, they are going to win $550 million on average, right? Oh, sorry, $515 million, right? Profit. Roulette. Okay, you bet red or black in roulette. I've got a strategy you can win in roulette. It is not true. Red or black, it's not 50-50. There are 38 numbers now on the roulette wheel, 1 to 36, plus 0, plus 00. So the reason the casino can make money on red or black is because it's only red or it's only black 18 out of 38 times. 18 out of 38. That's not half.
That's more
So
than,
when it lands on 00 and 0, they take all the red or black bets. So think about it. If the casino was, hey, Loki, come in here, you pay me $1, we're going to roll this dice. The probability of you picking a number on a dice is 1 in 6.
Yeah.
I'll pay you $6 every time you get the number. That's a zero-sum game. They can't win.
Yeah.
But the casino's got games where you pick the numbers on 3 dice. In Asia, they've got this. They will pay you $180. $180 if you pick 111 and it comes 111. But let's do the maths. What's the probability of that happening? 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 36 is 216.
Yeah.
So the odds of you winning is 216 to 1.
Yeah.
The odds are not in your favor.
Yeah.
They're in the house favor.
Yeah.
House always wins. Except
that's
poker.
where it comes from. The
House
stats.
always wins.
Yeah.
House always wins because that's how the casino will never have a game where over the long run you can win, which is why counting cards is illegal. Because if you count cards in blackjack, you pivot, and I spoke to a guy who did a PhD on this years ago, you pivot that odds from 48.5% in your favor to 50-something in your favor. So over the long run, you win. That's why you can't count cards. And in the casino, you can't count cards anyway because they play with 6 decks.
Yeah.
6 times 52 is 312. And every hand you play, they put the cards straight back in and they get shuffled back in.
I saw this in a movie based on true story.
21.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
21? Is that 21? I love that movie because it really goes into some of the things you're talking about.
So watch the movie and you know what we were talking about, right? But they were able to pivot the probability in their favor.
Yeah.
But I did see a bit of resentment when I said you can only win at poker. And that is why. Because when you're playing poker...
So were they playing poker in that movie?
No. But when you play poker at the casino, I'm playing 10 other people.
Yeah.
I'm competing against 10 other people. I'm not competing against the casino.
So let's think about it. There's 10 people.
Yeah.
Each put in $10. Yeah. That's $100 on the table.
So the casino takes rake from every pot. So in the casino, you play the tournaments or cash games.
Yeah.
Cash games is where I buy $100 worth of chips.
Yeah.
And I have $100.
Yes.
So I might bet $5. I'm betting real money every hand.
Yeah.
A tournament is where I pay $100 to enter. They give me 2,000 in chips.
Yeah.
That's 2,000. It's not worth anything. And I might start betting 100 chips, but then the amount you have to pay goes up, which means people eventually get knocked out. Someone ends with all the chips. They give their chips back and take the prize money. The reason you can win playing poker is because you don't play against the casino. You play against other people. I can beat people. Statistically speaking, if and this is why the odds are in my favor, because I sit down at a table of people who are having a flutter at the casino and want to play on the cheap table. They don't understand the game of poker. They don't understand the statistics or the mathematics.
Yeah.
So statistically speaking, I know that when my pocket kings, 2 kings in my hand, go up against their, I don't know, call it ace jack or something like that. And geez, it's been a while since I played, but I'm pretty sure I'm 60%, 60-something percent to win that hand if we see all 5 cards.
Okay.
Which means 6 out of 10 times I win. I do lose 4 out of 10, but if I play long enough, statistically speaking, I will win. And the way you play the hand matters differently as well. So you can have the odds in your favor when you're playing poker because you're playing other people.
So how did this help you to deal with ADHD?
So getting back to ADHD and how, and so viewers will notice that the way this conversation goes is anywhere because I'm just following the flow.
That's great because this is all about no script. It's just the flow.
So how we got onto poker was the 𝗏𝗏 example and 𝗵𝗲 and how ADHD affects me.
Yeah.
As an ADHDer, I spend so much time in thoughts or in conversation going, how on earth did I get there? And so we got onto the casino because you asked me about ADHD and I spoke about 𝗏𝗏. And the team I played a lot of poker with, when I met 𝗵𝗲, that was my new focus in life. This is the weakness it bestows on me. Instead of a normal person maybe carrying that group of friends with them, I completely abandon them and focus all on my wife.
Wow.
That's what ADHD does to me. Now, the weird thing about ADHD, not a really good scientist, but like my fair share of experiments, I have no control. I don't have a control Luke Hannan who doesn't have ADHD. So I'm only assuming that the hyperactivity, the energy I've got is because of this. I don't know, but I do know that people without ADHD tend to have a more stable group of friends because they don't just ignore them and go on to the next shiny thing. So your question was on that. What it does to me is that I tend to focus on something. I'll give you another example. I'm a full-time professional conference MC, one of Australia's best, right? And I'm supremely
Hey,
confident.
you were voted #1 on something. I don't know. I've seen some post recently.
Oh, that
What
was
is that?
communication coaches on LinkedIn. I didn't even, yeah, someone said I'm like the top 4 influencers on LinkedIn.
Yeah, some influencer.
I didn't even know about that. Someone else tagged me in that and I was like, fair enough.
That's good. That's
just
cool.
because of the information I put out there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I've got this great career, but I love music. I play drums. I always wanted to be a DJ. And so, because, you know, in front of the crowd and stuff like that. And I get that as an
It's
MC.
one of your vision.
I get that. That's the vision, right? I have these dreams. I have these visions of being on a crowd in front of like 1 million people. And I bring that to the way I host events. Like people say, man, you're too energetic. And I'm not. But my dream for events, conferences can be so boring. And you get an MC that's, hello and welcome. Yes, okay, I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country.
You're already sleeping.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's 150,000 people die every day, right?
Yeah.
Your average life is 80 years. If the audience is going to bestow upon me, and I did the math on this, right? If you give me 2 days of your life, you roughly live for about 20,000 days, right? Give or take. I think it's about 80 years. You do the math. 2 days is 1 basis point.
Yeah.
You're giving me, as your MC for this 2-day conference, 1 basis point of your life.
Yeah.
Think about that. I take that responsibility very seriously. And that shapes me as an MC. Like I'll crack jokes on stage, and the way we're having jokes here,
I can say this with personal experience.
Yeah.
That day when I was speaking, the energy from you was real.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was so real. And then it was so short as well, but it was real. We just shook hands, we introduced, and you asked few things, and I said it. And then you're like, oh, yeah, no, that's great. Yep. And then you prepared something with whatever you need to do in the head. And the way you welcomed me was like as if you know me forever. I was like, oh, damn, he's good.
That's the pre-work, right? So with negatives on ADHD, world-class MC, let's become a DJ. But then I'm old enough now to go, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. I'd love to be an auctioneer. I do plenty of charity auctions, right? But I can say to my clients now, hand on my heart, my full-time job, all that I do is host events. That's it. I'm not a magazine editor. I'm not a radio personality, pardon me. I'm not a TV personality that's doing this on the side. And Jimmy Carr said this in his book, and I agree wholeheartedly. Jimmy Carr's 100% comedian. I'm 100% MC. Dedicated to what we do, dedicated to growing and becoming better and becoming unstoppable, but we never stop learning. So someone who's 20% MC, who's doing it on the side because they've got a radio name or a name on TV, how can they compete with me?
Yeah.
They can't. They've got a face I don't. I get that, right? But I'm 100% committed to this event and I've got nothing else on. And so I say that to my clients. I'm like, you can have 20% MC. The statistics, the numbers are going to catch up. I will always be better in the long run. Always. And so that's the thing. Now, here's the cool thing about ADHD. We've spoken about the risk of getting distracted, the issues with social groups. There's some of what it makes life harder for me.
Yeah.
The superpower is I cannot fail. Like if you've got ADHD.
Wow. Guys, are you hearing this?
You cannot fail.
Next time when you come across someone with ADHD, they cannot fail because they are super focused.
You cannot fail. For me anyway, like if I put my mind to something, the MA program at City, moving to Westpac. And here's the other thing, right? Life is too short to just throw your hat in the ring for a job, for an opportunity. No. If you are going to do something, please go all in or don't bother.
Yeah.
Don't bother. It's okay to try playing tennis. I get that. This is the weakness for me. My kids are tennis. Like I'm all in. I'm planning their Grand Slam career. I'm talking to them like when you play at the Australian Open, when you do this, because I want to program them with the language of not if you make it, when you make it.
When you make it.
When you make it. Because it's a foregone conclusion, which is why when Scarlett stopped playing tennis, it took me a while to adjust and step away from that because I had to let go of my little dream and pathway as I was on. So the laser beam focus. How I became an MC. Let's talk about that.
Before you go to MC, Khalil Gibran is an author. He talks about what you just mentioned. about the parent and the child relationship. So he says, our kids, okay, basically what he says, I'm just using our, so I'll just use your kids are not your kids. They come through you, but they're not you. They have their own thinking. They have their own personality. So let them be.
You posted the other day about this because I read it. I'm sure it was
So,
yours.
so that's why it just came in.
Be.
Let them be.
Let them be. Now, it's your job when they're younger to teach them boundaries, to maybe help them play sport. And if they're passionate, to drive them.
Yeah.
But when they get to that 10, 12, as all those world champions and gold medalists I spoke to said, they've got to drive it themselves. And you need to be prepared as a parent for them to choose a different path. Just make sure they carry the lessons they've learned on the chapter of their life that they're in into the future. Let's round out 2012 and we'll talk about
MC.
So 2012, so Scarlett's born, mum dies. I'm on this executive leadership program at City. ADHD. So when this program comes about, I am all in. Like, I'm not failing. I'm getting on this program.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds arrogant. I'm going to get on it. No. I'm going to do everything I can. I met with all the MAs, management associates, beforehand. I spoke to so many different people. I went all in and I was lucky enough to be given an opportunity. But it was on that program and in this year of 2012 where I realized I didn't want to be a leader. Leading is not for me. We get institutionalized in life, starting with school, to be programmed, you're going to be a great worker, and then follow the path of management, and then become a manager and a manager of managers. And they sell you this at City, and it's the program to be a leader. The last thing that happened in that year, one of my mate's kids died. 2 years old he was, just didn't wake up. Good friend of mine, Dom's his name, and the young boy's name was Matthew. I never met Matthew. I never met this young man, this young boy. He was 2, he didn't wake up. But I went to the funeral, and I'm telling you now, I've lost both my parents to cancer, both my grandparents. Obviously, most people at our age have lost their grandparents. That was the saddest day of my life. Looking at Dom and his wonderful wife and Samuel, which is Matthew's older brother, and Dom, if you're listening, sorry for talking about it in public, but I'm sure we're at that level now. It changed my life. It changed my life. Seeing the joy in the family on the front cover of, which I've still got, the little booklet you get when you go there. Man, I left that day thinking life is just far too short. So this is 2012. Like I said, I never met this young boy, this young man, but he changed my life. To the point where I left that day thinking, I'm never going to waste another day again. And like, we all waste time, but it just was the catalyst that this is not the path for me. Banking and finance, leadership is not my path in life. I don't know what my path is, and we'll get to how I became an MC in 2018. But that year was a real year of growth and change. And to be frank with your audience, I wasn't doing as well as I should have on the management associate program. I wasn't getting the ratings I was supposed to get because I wasn't that person. Yeah. There was another gentleman on the program called Keith. Keith's dad was extremely wealthy, extremely important businessman in Malaysia. I think he lives in the Shire as well, actually, when he's down under. And I looked at Keith, and Keith had spent time with Bill Clinton. And I wasn't envious, but I became aware that he was on a different path. Yeah. And at the time, I didn't understand that. But looking back in hindsight, and I still talk to Keith occasionally. He's now running his father's business because I believe his father's passed away. Keith and I were on different pathways. And the other MAs on the program, they'd all come from different backgrounds. We were all on different paths. And in fact, at the top of every one of my run sheets, I write 2 things. And I heard John Cena say this, right? But I believe it's true. And so it's on my run sheet for a very particular reason. Memento mori, right? And I forget what it means, but it's basically, the first thing is comparison is the thief of happiness. That's the first. And on every page of my run sheet, that's at the top. It's in the header, right, on a Word doc. And I always read that because it's so easy in life to compare ourselves with other people. And I look at Keith, and I use Keith as an example. He was the most well-spoken, the way he sat just said executive, said CEO, said first class, said business class. When you look at him, you saw opulence, you saw CEO. Yeah. I saw that and thought, well, I'm going to, and I built my career on taking the best bits of what I saw from other people. And he made me a better executive looking person.
Yeah.
But Keith and I are on very different paths.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm okay with that now. At the time, it was a little bit abrasive. I felt inadequate, and I felt not hard done by, but you look at someone like that, and comparison is the thief of joy, because he was this well-rounded. And don't get me wrong, my man, I'm sure Keith had his issues as well. We all do. We've all got challenges. He's got his fair share. I've got my fair share. We've all got our fair share.
Thank you for listening to Chat with Loki. Do not forget to follow and subscribe. You can explore my 3 books, The True Self, The Power of Faith, Before Birth and After Death, available ebooks and audiobooks on Amazon and Google Play. See you in next episode.